Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of this Blender tutorial where we are modeling this lemon squeezer. In this part, we'll model the top part step by step. If you haven't seen the earlier parts, make sure to check them out. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so let's create this top part. So let's go over here and let's select these faces here. Let's extrude this on top and scale Z0, flatten this. Select these two edges and do cursor to selected, then go over here and set 3D cursor. Then select these faces here. Then from the side, scale an x-axis slightly according to the shape. Now delete these faces. Okay, so now let's add a cylinder, and here let's make its vertices 16, and align it to view, then scale this cylinder and move it on this part. Adjust according to the shape. Here, rotate this cylinder and see that this vertex is exact on this line. Now here, select this face, move and snap it with this vertex here, then select both faces and inset till here, where this other circle object is, and delete the face. Add 2 loop cuts here. Over here, select these faces, something here, and delete them. Over here, select this vertex, move and snap it with this vertex here. Make sure that auto merge is turned on. Now here, add 3 loop cuts, and here move and snap these vertices with these vertices here. Here also move these vertices and snap them here. This vertex snap here. And here add a loop cut. Here let's add cuts this way. This vertex snap over here, and this snap here. Over here, delete all these faces. Select these edges and fill this part. Dissolve this edge, and slide this vertex and snap here. Then here, fill this part this way. Here, select this edge and subdivide one time and snap this vertex here. Then with the knife tool, do like this here. Then slide these vertices here, this way one by one. On the other side, also slide this way here. Over here, also slide and do something like this. Now this is good. Okay, now let's add a mirror modifier, move it on top, and here select X and bisect, and also in flip select to flip. Now this will mirror things on the other side. Activate subdiv and shade smooth. Now this looks good. Okay, now over here, let's select all these edges where the part has to be sharp. And let's bevel it. Make shape complete 1. And here select arc. This will look something like this in the corner. Now here slide these vertices this way. Then select this full edge and slide like this and merge. This edge also slide and merge. With the knife tool, add a cut like this here. On the other side, select this edge, slide and snap. Dissolve this edge here. Here, slide this vertex, slide and then join this way. And here, slide these vertices this way. Okay, now this looks good. Okay, now here, select these faces over here. Duplicate it and separate it by selection, then hide it and keep it aside in a different collection for later use. Now select faces, something over here. And inset slightly. turn off the mirror modifier for now, and select the other side faces the same way. And now inset slightly, turn back on the mirror modifier. Now select these side edges only and slide till where the whole border is. Select the bottom edge and also slide near the whole border. Then select this edge over here and slide this way here. Now select this full inner part faces this way, and delete them. Here, select this unnecessary edge over here and delete it. And here, select and delete these unnecessary vertices too. Here, select these edges. And here, fill this small part, turn off the mirror modifier, and now fill this small part on one side. Now add a loop cut over here and slide till here. Okay, now activate the subdiv modifier. And over here, you can see there are some artifacts or dents on the corner. Here, if we change its material, you can see there are some artifacts over here. To remove them, over here, let's add a Shrinkwrap modifier. And with the dropper, let's select the part which we kept aside before. Now the full mesh is affected by Shrinkwrap. We only want the small part. So we'll select the faces where it has to be smooth. And now let's go over here and let's create a new vertex group over here. Control I, invert selection, and remove the rest parts assigned. Again, invert and assign the part faces to be smoothened. Now go over here and activate the Shrinkwrap modifier, and here select the group which we had created, activate subdiv, and for that separated part, activate subdiv, and now you can see this is nicely smooth. Unhide the separated part, and let's go into it. And now here, let's apply the mirror modifier. And here you can increase the level of subdiv. Now hide the part. And now you can see this is nice and smooth. If we change its material, we can see this looks good. If we turn on or off Shrinkwrap, we can see the difference. Okay, now here, select this part edge and duplicate it and separate it by selection. Now select the separated part and extrude inwards this way here. Remove the Shrinkwrap for this because we don't need it. Now select this edge and extrude slightly outside, then extrude and scale in, and then grid fill. And here tweak parameters to make it straight. Here select this edge and bevel, and shade smooth the object. Now here select this clipping, and now apply the mirror modifier. Now over here, let's add loop cuts this way here. On the other side, also add cuts. Okay, now here we have to create this inner part here. So let's select these edges here. So over here, you can see this looks something like this inside here. So we will do that. Now over here, duplicate these edges and separate them by selection. Then select both edges and extrude inward this way here. Now select both these edges and bridge edge loops. Undo this, so we cannot bridge edge loops here. So select both these edges and fill here. Then press F and fill everywhere. In face orientation, we can see the normals are not right, so flip them by pressing Shift-N. Now here, apply the mirror modifier. Select the full part. Okay, select only the side faces. And now here, let's scale in Y, slightly inwards this way here. Shade, smooth the object, and now this is good. Okay, now here, let's add a Solidify modifier. And here, let's decrease the thickness. Let's make it thin. Here, select even thickness. Let's make the thickness even less here. Okay, now let's apply the mirror modifier. And over here, there is this unnecessary edge, so let's dissolve it. And on the other side, also dissolve this edge here. Okay, so over here to make this smooth, there's one more method which we can use. So for that, let's add a data transfer modifier, and let's move it below the Shrinkwrap modifier. Here, select the part which we had kept separately aside before, and here select the group which we had created before. Now here select this face corner data, then here select custom. Now go over here and in normals select this auto smooth. Now again in the data transfer modifier, here in this select nearest face interpolated. This worked for me, you can try others to see which one works. Okay, now you can see this is nice and smooth. If we change its material, we can see this nice and smooth. Now here, set the angle to 90 degrees. This helps smooth out the shading on curved areas while keeping the sharp edges as they are. Okay, now one important thing about the data transfer modifier. First, let's apply the subdiv modifier, and then apply the data transfer modifier. Now if we go to the properties and turn off auto smooth, you'll notice the artifacts come back. This happens because data transfer only works in Blender when auto smooth is on. If you export the model to another software, the artifacts will appear again. So in that case, the Shrinkwrap modifier is a better option. Now undo this. Here you can use both modifiers together, Shrinkwrap and data transfer, to get a clean, smooth result. Okay, now for the back object, let's model the top part. First, let's duplicate this, then hide it and keep it separately for later use. Now here, let's select these edges and let's bevel them and make shape complete 1. Now let's add a loop cut here and slide and snap with this part vertex here. On the other side, also add a loop cut and slide and snap. Okay, here, slide this edge slightly inwards. Now here, remove this Shrinkwrap modifier, we don't need it, and duplicate this part and hide and keep separately for later use. Okay, now here, select this part edge and slide till here. Now over here, select these faces and extrude up, then scale Z0, flatten this part and move up till here near this corner. Then here, select these both edges and do cursor to selected. Then select these part faces and go over here and make this 3D cursor. Now, from the side, rotate this. This will rotate from 3D cursor, rotate, scale, and try to get the shape as seen in the image. Now select this vertex and move down this way so that this is curve. Over here, delete these faces. Now here, try to get the curve. here, delete these faces. Okay, now over here, select this vertex and slide and snap with this line vertex. Turn on symmetry in X and then snap. On the other side, also select this vertex and snap here. Okay, now here, select this part and rotate slightly so that we can join clearly with the other part. Now select these part faces, something over here, and delete them. Select these edges and fill here. Select here and fill. Now over here, select edge and fill. Here, select these vertices and fill, and then subdivide. Make vertices 2 here. Select this vertex and slide a snap with this vertex. Then move in only X and Z axis, press S-Shift-Y and snap here. Then select this vertex and snap here. Select these edges, fill this part this way. Now here, select these edges and fill this part. Here also select edges and fill here. Then with the knife tool, do something like this here. Then add mirror modifier and select this here. Here, slide these vertices and snap this way. Select this edge and delete. Now here, select these sharp edges of this part where we have to bevel. And then bevel here. And here, select arc. Now here, slide these vertices and merge this way here. And here, slide and do something like this. Then with the knife, add cut this way here. Here, add a cut with the knife this way. And slide these vertices this way here. And with the knife, add cut. Now join all these places where there is this arc. Now here, activate the subdiv modifier. And you can see artifacts in the corners. So let's smooth this how we did before by adding a Shrinkwrap modifier. So let's select these part faces over here. Then let's go into Properties, remove this group and create a new group here and assign this part. Then create one more group. And over here, select these part faces. Remove the other assigned part and assign this part. Now let's add a Shrinkwrap modifier and select the part which we had kept aside before and choose group 2 here. Activate the subdiv modifier and also enable subdiv for the part that we targeted with the Shrinkwrap modifier. Now you can see the difference where the artifacts are gone. Now let's add one more Shrinkwrap modifier and select the other part which we had kept aside before and select group 1 here. Here also enable subdiv for the part that we targeted with the Shrinkwrap modifier. Now you can see the difference where the artifacts are gone. If we change its material, we can see this is nice and smooth, and this looks good. Over here, the shape isn't curved properly. So here, let's move and adjust this to make this curved shape. Okay, so now this is nicely curved over here. Now here, apply this mirror modifier. And now here, select this unnecessary edge and dissolve it. And on the other side, also select and dissolve edge. Okay, now here, select this edge here and slightly slide down. And now here, add loop cut. Now here, select this part vertices and move slightly to make slight curve over here. And now this looks good over here. Here, if we turn on the wireframe, we can see that this is nicely modeled and everything looks clean and smooth. Okay, so we can also add data transfer modifier for this, like how we added earlier for the other object. With the dropper, select the separated part, which we also targeted for Shrinkwrap modifier, and select the same group where we had assigned part faces. Then select the same option like before. All right, so we are done with this part. We finished modeling the top part, and it looks clean and smooth. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also comment below with your feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll meet you in the next part.